We are talking about divine feminine embodied today. Embodiment. Getting in here, getting it all in here. I love talking about this. This is one of my favorite topics, to talk about divine feminine embodiment. I just get so lit up because when we can get here, when we can really get here, there's so much freedom and joy and bliss and love and sensuality and ecstasy and just like all the goodness. And I'm really excited to talk about my journey, my experience, give you guys some really practical ways that you can start to, you know, like explore this within yourself. I first want to start with, we just, you know, had the video on the Divine Feminine Explained, where I just cracked a door open for you to just see if you want to peek inside. So that video is available. And I do recommend, I think it might be helpful to watch that first. Now, in that video, I talk about how the divine feminine is a receiver, listening, full body, psychic kind of listening, right? You can read a room. You can read a room because that information is being drawn. You're just this magnet of information. This can sort of get confused sometimes with like being too empathic or whatever, but we can talk about that in other videos. But what I want to start off with is like, okay, so by saying yes to embodying your highest potential of divine feminine embodiment, that means you are saying yes to being a receiver of information. Information is like, what else could we say? You're saying yes to being a receiver to emotions, experiences, storylines, timelines, information, okay? That's what you would say yes to when you're saying yes to being an embodiment of the divine feminine, deeply listening. Okay, so in the video that I made about tending, the divine feminine call to tending, that video is so important and that teaching is so important in a divine feminine embodiment, because when you carve out time to be in the art of tending as part of your life expression, as part of your beauty way path, then you are creating time for listening. When I am gardening, I am listening. When I am raising my children, I am listening. When I am making my meal, I am listening. When I am going to the spring to fill up water, I am listening and I'm saying thank you for this clean water. Okay, so there's a lot of listening in divine feminine embodiment. Most of my life, it's very interesting. You guys are seeing me here like talking all the time. So much of my life is listening. In our divine feminine embodiment, along with that listening, we are also attuning to the seasons. This is truly, we start to get into a next level of spiritual maturity when you can humbly accept that the seasons of Earth are designed in a way to support your now moment, your journey. Okay, so the season, the actual weather, astrology that's happening around you, these are all things to be considered in that listening. The listening of the divine feminine is very multidimensional. It's very layered. There's a lot, so a huge part of this embodiment is simply just practicing that. Is practicing, you know, being able to take in stacks of, it's almost like these letters, right? Just like a stack of papers, right? And sort of being able to take in, it's like when you get a download, right? Sometimes there's so much information in that download. It's very multi-dimensional. Okay, it's beyond linear time of reading that story. It's like, you just got it now. Now, the way that this applies, and we could think of like the masculine cycles, I think of the divine masculine as the sunrise and the sunset every day, right? That sun's coming up, the sun's going down, the sun's coming. It's reliable. There's a rhythm. There's a steadiness to it. The divine feminine is way more like the lunar cycles. It's like there's a waxing, there's a waning, there's the full moon moment, and there's ovulating, and there's a lot of seasons, there's a lot of layers to the expression. And I'm not saying that the divine masculine doesn't have that. Again, remember, we're talking about the embodiment of this consciousness that each human being can embody if they so choose. As you are stepping into the divine feminine embodiment, there is the element of grace. That means you are taking in life, okay? All of these experiences, all of this information, you're starting to like really be able to observe a lot of information simultaneously about the people, about yourself. You're a whole universe in yourself. But then if you're mothering, right, you've got the consciousness of your children. You've got the consciousness of your partner. You've got everybody's spiritual, you know, and their etheric bodies and all of that information, right? As you are moving through your life, imagine that in your divine feminine embodiment, there is a presence and a woman of grace that steps in front of you, right? And it must come through her before it hits your heart. It's like this beautiful, it's sort of like when anything that's going to go through her, it must, the information must be recalibrated to be aligned with a perception that can respond in alignment with Christ consciousness. Yes? You can surround your home, your body, your family with this type of support, with this consciousness. You can command it. And then you can be in that space of responding in the way that is going to ultimately serve your highest path, right? There's nothing about this though that is stagnant. Constant motion. Before I sat down to film these videos today, I did a lot of dancing, I did a lot of moving my physical body, right? And we just talked about this concept in my membership group, in the you know, the spiritual body's metabolism, right? Being able to digest all of this information that's coming through you properly, you need to have an activated spiritual metabolism. You have a physical metabolism. You also have an emotional, spiritual metabolism that is digesting and processing all of this information that you are receiving, you know, and uncovering from within you. This isn't always external. A lot of the times it's coming, you know, you're going within and you're finding these treasure troves of experiences and information and stories that are within you. Presence, right, that comes to me very easily in that Art of Tending video is what allows for that to be metabolized and digested, the nutrients and goodness extracted from that experience. And the rest can be given back to the earth. A divine feminine embodied woman does understand that the earth, the consciousness of Gaia under our feet, is a big deal. It's something I don't even know if I can get into it in this video. It's really it is mother energy. Now that's different from your maternal line, and that does need to be, you need to be in connection to your mother's line. But this mothering energy of Gaia is a separate thing, pouring forth nourishment and space for us. That does feel important to mention in this particular video with the divine feminine embodiment, that, you know, it's so beautiful to have a relationship with the earth. Understand that that relationship is a beautiful co-creative dance and relationship. But Gaia is not the right consciousness to project our motherhood issues and expect to find the sort of clarity and resolve on the deepest level. The way that I perceive Gaia is that she offers an invitation as we step into our divine feminine embodiment. She is asking us, how respectful can you be? How reverent can you be with me? She's a master teacher in invoking reverence, respect, deep listening, where you can get into some of the more mysterious traditions of, you know, really being an oracle for the earth. Divine feminine embodiment is an endless conversation, and one that I love to go deeper on in our womanhood group, okay, the womanhood. It's a monthly membership where we have live calls, like I think once a week almost, a Telegram room where I can chat and talk to you, and you can meet the other women that are there. I'm so proud of the women who've said yes to that, because you're really saying yes to an embodiment, and your embodiment. Not some embodiment that I want you to have, your embodiment, your guidance. And that is honored and that is respected. And it's just such an honor for me to facilitate that space, to create that space for women to go through, to really take that journey and feel sisterly support along the way, because we deserve that. We deserve to have that right now and get together and have conversations that are very real for us. And that's what that group is all about. So please explore it and check it out. You can even just join it for a month, see if it's a good fit for you. And I love you guys so much. Please like and subscribe for this video. I'd love to hear in the comments your divine feminine embodiment experiences and expressions. They are so many, and I want to see what you have to say about this. So I love you so much. I'm going to see you in the next videos where we are going to start diving into the divine masculine consciousness.